Okay guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are really sorry about yesterday. We didn't post a video.
It got out of control and we slipped it.
And it was just such a crazy day. Like, we didn't end up going to bed till 2 in the morning, and I don't even know what happened, but it was just wild. And so please forgive us for not uploading. I wish we had 2 videos we could upload today to make up for it, but thanks for caring and thanks for noticing that we didn't upload. Anyways, today we are on our way to St. George because I'm filming a wedding in Phoenix and in St. George in the next couple days. We're actually going to leave Tommy overnight for the first time, which is super sad.
Yeah, it's way sad.
It sucks.
Dang it.
We've been getting a lot of questions about the story of how we met. So, Jack didn't know this, but we're going to tell the story of how we met.
Oh, good.
We probably have different versions of this.
Probably not.
But we'll see. So, let's get started. Let's get started. So legit, Tommy has been asleep in the back for 3 hours. We tried to wake her up, she won't wake up, and that's just like how good of a baby she is.
She loves car rides.
We haven't stopped
She's
once.
happy.
She's so happy. And if she cries, then we're gonna have to stop the video, so let's do this quick. Tell a background, you know.
Okay, so I moved up to Provo August of 2017. I moved up to go to school. I'm from St. George, and so I moved. I wasn't dating anyone, and I was just excited. Anyways, fast forward to November 1st. I go to this party with my friends. First off, I didn't want to go to the party, and one of my friends just like dragged me there, and he's like, "We have to go. It's gonna be fun." And so I show up to this party. I go straight to the basement, and I just start shooting hoops in the gym. And I was like, "This is stupid. Like, I'll just do this until I have to leave." And so I'm in there for like 30 minutes, and then Kenna walks in, and that's when I saw her, and I was like, "Oh man, I should talk to her." So I walked up to her, and then I was like, "Hey, I'm Jack."
You are such a...
Well, how'd it go?
I talked to you.
Okay, so Kenna and her friends walk into the gym, and I knew her friends, and so I walked up and said hi, and then I was like, "I don't know you." I didn't say that, but in my head I was like, "I don't know you." And so we started talking, and the rest of the time we were kind of just like awkwardly looking at each other, and she was talking to a bunch of dudes.
No, I wasn't.
And so I was like, "Okay, that's probably over with."
Whatever.
And so I went home that night, and I followed her on Instagram. Okay, now you tell your part of the story.
No, I have to go back, because Jack doesn't remember a few things. I was the party goer. Like, Jack was like the one that the friends had to drag to the parties, and I was the one that was dragging my friends to parties. I loved parties. It was my jam. I just loved like talking to people and like socializing. Anyways, that night my friends and I went to that party, and there were like 6 of us girls, and I was talking to a lot of people that night, and then I remember I saw Jack, and I don't think we had a conversation, but I saw him, and like we made eye contact, and like we just kept staring at each other, and I was like, "He's so freaking hot." And so I asked my friend, I'm like, "Who is he?" And she's like, "Oh, that's Jack. He's from St. George." And I was like, "I've never heard of this kid in my life." And I feel like I felt like at the time that I had known like every guy in Utah County, so it was weird to see someone like I didn't know, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so hot." And so my friends and I all started calling him Hot Jack all night, and it was like a battle. I swear it was like the Olympics, like you were racing to Hot Jack.
So you saw me before
Yes.
you were in the gym?
And
How? Because I was in the gym the whole time.
No, you were out of the gym, you were coming out of the theater, and I saw him, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh."
So you saw me when I went from the theater to the gym?
Yeah, probably. Anyways, I was kind of aggressive. I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
See, this is the whole part of the story I don't know, because I got there, walked in the theater, and said hi to the girl whose house it was, and then walked straight in the gym. And so in between that time, I guess she had been talking about me.
Because I went to Dubai, he followed me on Instagram, and I hadn't actually really noticed that he followed me.
Well, let's be honest, she had like a good amount of followers, and I had like 400 or 500, and I was private, and so she like...
I don't know, I just didn't really remember. And then I go to Dubai, and while I'm in Dubai, my friend texted me and was like, "Hey, Hot Jack followed me." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so mad right now." So I checked my followers, and he had followed me too. So I was like, "Okay, is he gonna follow our whole friend group or what?" Anyways, I come home from Dubai, and I just hang out for a couple weeks, and I go to another party, which was at my friend's cabin, and there was a bunch of people there, like seriously so many people there. Everyone was like, it was like a mosh pit at a concert, like not dancing, but just that's how many people were close together. And I'm like walking in the middle, and there was so many people around, and I see Jack, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And so we're like in this line of like people walking past each other. I'm like, heck yeah, I can talk to him. And like that's when I talked to you first, and I was like, Jack.
Yeah, that's when you talked.
And you were like, hi, and I was like, what the heck? Let's hang out. Like I literally said that, and he was like, okay. And that's it.
No, and then I asked you how Dubai was. Like I asked
okay,
you,
fine,
like,
yeah.
I was like, how was Dubai? I just never like brought up hanging out again.
Yeah, he never asked me for my
Until the
number.
very end.
For
and
the second time.
Yeah, I didn't like when she said that. I was
Strike
like,
two.
when she was like, let's hang out. I was like, oh, how was Dubai?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why.
I was
and
so
then at
sad.
the very end when I was leaving, I was like, well, let's hang out sometime, and then I left.
Oh, I forgot a really good part of the story. Is that he kissed one of my friends while I was in Dubai. And I was so bummed about it. But then again, I was just like, whatever, you know, maybe they just kissed and it's not gonna go
To
anywhere.
be fair, she had DM'd me. She invited.
Yeah. Okay, back to the party. We crossed paths. I asked him to hang out. He doesn't ask me for my number. And then I'm just like, whatever. I go about my night. And I thought he had left the party because he told me he was on his way out. So I went upstairs and like to this like ledge. And me and my friend Indy were just sitting there and looking over down at everyone, just like staring at people and people watching. And Indy goes, Kenna, don't look, but Hot Jack's staring right at you. And I was like, no, don't play with me like that. She's like, no, I swear he's staring right at you. And I was like, should I look at him? She's like, sure. And so I like stared right at Jack, and he just like looked right away. He was like embarrassed because I guess he'd been staring at me, but I was so stoked. Do you remember that?
I wasn't like staring for very long, and then I noticed they both looked at me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so she looked back at me, and then I left.
And then he left. Still didn't ask me for my number. But the day after the party, that night, he DM'd me on Instagram and was like, hey, we need to hang out. And I literally just sent him my number. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to like DM back and forth. I was just like, call me if you want to hang, you know. So he just like was like, hey, let's hang out sometime. And I just sent him my number, and then he called or texted me, I don't remember. And I went over that night at like 11, and we hung out for like 7 hours and talked, and it was super fun. But there's another part of the story. So after we met, we started hanging out every day, and it was super fun, but it was pretty casual. Like we knew that each other were hanging out with other people at the same time too, so it wasn't super serious, but we had a lot of fun together. I thought Jack was like the sweetest angel in the whole entire world.
We were spending a lot of time together though, from like the first night we hung out.
Yeah, for sure. It was cute though, because I went home from his house at like 6 in the morning, and it was like a Sunday the next day, and he texted me at like 9 a.m. and he's like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I was like, I literally left your house 3 hours ago. Like, he was just like that kind of person where he didn't like beat around the bush or try to act too cool like to hang out, or that he was super busy. Like, he just was like, let's hang out. And I'm like, it's 9 a.m. what do you want to do?
You didn't say that. You said, yeah, come pick me up.
Yeah, I did. And he came and picked me up, and it was super fun. But I remember the turning point for me was like a week later. I was at his house. It was like 1 in the morning, and I got called in to film a birth. And it was in Salt Lake, and I was super tired. I think I was literally asleep at your house. Like, we had watched a movie, and he was like, "You're not going to film a birth right now, alone." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, it's gonna be like a 6-hour thing." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna drive you." And I was like, "You're gonna drive me?" Anyways, we get in the car, and he drives me to my house to get my camera, and then drives me to Salt Lake, and he sleeps in the front seat of the car for 6 hours while I filmed the birth. And I came back out, and he drove me home, and then went right to class and had a full day of classes that day. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever heard?
It's a good memory.
Thinking about it, I'm just like, I have a picture, I'll insert it right here, of me coming back from the hospital, and Jack's just wrapped up in a blanket in the front seat for 6 hours. Never once complained, never once said like, hey, I'm hungry, never once said like, are you almost done? He was just so nice, and like, I freaking love him. So that was kind of a turning point for me. Then I went on a trip to St. George with some of my friends. It was like a really fun trip, and then Jack was like, hey, I'm in St. George with my family for the holidays, like, we should meet up. And I was like, yeah, for sure, come over. So he comes over to my friend Kate's house, a big group of friends. So it was probably intimidating for Jack to come because there was guys and girls. But he came, and he brought me like a Christmas gift. It was so cute. And then went from there.
There was like 2 straight days I went over to their house, and then she was supposed to head home right before Christmas. And I just like kept telling her, I was like, I'll just drive you home in a couple days. You should just stay, and we can like go
Dirt bike.
hang out. Yeah, I'll bring out my dirt bike and stuff. And then she told me Brooklyn and Corey were coming down the next day
Yeah.
and staying like 2 days, and then she was gonna drive home, so she had to ride home. And I was like, well, that's perfect. Just stay then, and you have an excuse.
So my friends left at like 7 in the morning one day, and Jack came and picked me up. I had brought like 2 outfits, and they were hiking outfits. I looked so bad, and he brought me over to his house. Not kidding you. He has 6 brothers, and all of them are married except for one. I show up, and everybody is on this huge couch, sitting down, lined up like this, waiting to meet me. And I come through the door, like,
Yeah, that was funny.
so gross. I like didn't like get ready or shower or anything. Anyways, I like walk in and start hugging everyone, and everyone's so nice. His mom like came up to me and was just like, I've been looking forward to meeting you. And we weren't dating, guys. We had literally been just kissing and hanging out.
So that's where it got
for 3
confusing.
weeks.
I told my whole family that we were dating.
You did.
Yeah, well, in my mind we were, but then you made it clear we weren't. And I was
No,
like,
it wasn't like I made it clear. I was just like,
You made it clear. You like.
his mom would introduce me as his girlfriend though, and we seriously.
That was nice. Though. That was like better than saying.
Yeah. That was really cute. So his mom was like, I have this room ready for you to sleep in, and anything you need, let me know. And I was like, she's so cute. I was supposed to stay for like 1 day. I ended up staying for like 5. I went to all of his family parties. Like, we were like getting real close. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And then I went home for Christmas, and Jack stayed for a couple more weeks in St. George, and so we just talked back and forth. And then he came home, and it was the day before my birthday.
Okay, so I came home the day before her birthday. We hung out that whole night. We hung out her whole birthday day. We went and got breakfast.
He gave me a gift.
Gave you a bunch of gifts. I had Paisley tickets, shoes, and a necklace.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah. And then I got super sick. Remember that?
Yeah.
I got way sick. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna head home around like 1 or 2. And her birthday party was that night, like a huge rager party. She rented out like this warehouse.
That was like my vibe. I'll insert a video right here of the party. Happy birthday, dear Kenna. Happy birthday to you. Cheers, Mike.
And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go. Anyways, the party rolls around at like 8 or 9 or 10. What was it, like probably 9?
Yeah, 9.
9. And I show up, and it was like a dress-up one, and I like went and
Or
bought.
like a black and white party.
I went and bought a new tie and pants and everything for it.
That's so cute. Like thinking about you and your roommates getting all ready
It
for
was a black and white party. I didn't have any black because I had to like. My roommates scored at that party too, so it was good for everyone. But I show up to the party, and then Kenna comes up and like gives me like a kind of hug.
Oh no, I gave you a huge hug.
Kind of.
I
Not
was like
really.
jumping all over you.
Yeah, you were jumping all over everyone.
No.
Yeah, and then she gives me a hug, and I don't see her again for like an hour, like probably an hour. I don't remember how long the party
Yeah,
was.
but it was overwhelming.
I don't
so
get.
many people
Anyways,
there.
yeah, but if we're like dating,
But we weren't official. Okay, so the last part of our video cut out, so we're gonna try to redo that last part. So we're at the party, and Jack's about to head out because he's just frustrated that I'm not giving him enough attention at the party.
I was sad. Anyways, I'm literally 1 second from leaving. I was just super frustrated at the party. I was like, this sucks. Like, I thought we had more than this. Just super jealous and being dumb. And so, yeah, I got my friends together, and we were about to leave. We were like walking towards the door, and then Indy like ran up to me, and she's like, wait, all you have to do is just go give Kenna a hug, and then she'll be good, and you guys will just like be happy, whatever. And so I was like, okay. And so I went up and gave Kenna a hug, and I was gonna tell her bye, like happy birthday and stuff. And then I just never said that, and she just like grabbed my hand, and we just like, she started like running around with me and dancing, and she was like dancing with all of my friends, like me and all my friends together.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And so for
We
the
were
rest
like
of the
this
party,
the
we were
rest of the
together.
night.
Yeah, and then we went up like on top of there was like a second level where the DJ was, and we went up by him and we were like dancing, and everyone was like looking at us, and I was like, heck yeah. Yeah, I got it. Finally.
That was cute. That was a big moment for us because if Jack would have left that party, I don't know.
That was like a big moment because I was leaving that party like, no, like she's fun and awesome and it's her birthday, but I'm out. She's got other options. Thank goodness that didn't happen, and we're together.
Heck yeah. So after the party, we were together all night, and then Jack and his brother stayed after to help us clean up the party.
Oh! Oh!
And that was like big moves because my mom.
That was when I like really met her family, and
Yeah.
we were like all cleaning up this warehouse together and like still like kind of partying, and it was fun. And I was like, this is sick. Like I'm in.
Heck yeah,
For
you're
sure.
in. That was your first post of us at that party.
Oh wait, yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
that was
first
yours.
post of us.
And he said she's cute, and I was like, okay.
That was a good pick too.
That was a good thing. But anyways, it was just like so fun being in that dating scene, don't you think? Like,
Yeah, we had so much fun. Like the whole time we were dating was so fun.
oh yeah.
Dating
Even
was
like
so
the
fun.
going back and forth,
Yeah.
like that was so fun. So anyways, a couple weeks later, I went on a trip to the Bahamas with my friends, and then I decided on that trip that I wanted to date Jack, finally and officially.
That was the first time you called me babe.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
You sent me a Snapchat. And
Do you
like,
have that?
like,
We should insert it if we.
I'll see if I have it. I think I screenshot it. I did screenshot it. We'll see if I still have it.
Yeah, that was
You were
funny.
like, wow, babe, with hard eyes. And I was like, whoa. Heck yeah.
So, pretty much came home that night, went to Jack's, and I was just like, I'm ready to date you. And he was just like, heck yeah. So I took him to my house, and I pretty much just went up to my family, and I was like, this is my boyfriend. Started like hanging out a ton. Got engaged in July, and you guys have already probably seen that video. It's on our channel. And we got married in October.
It's our love story.
That's our love story. Now we're mom and dad.
And we're super,
Still in love.
super in love.
Jack's just like a 12 out of 10, and
No.
I just
lie.
I look back and I'm
You're
like,
a 50.
I didn't deserve him. Like, I made him work hard, like, to get me,
Speeding
which was so dumb. But it all worked out.
Somehow you ended up with me, and everyone wonders
No,
why Kenna
stop.
chose me.
But
But I'll never know either, actually. You're a freaking babe.
no, you're a dime.
You're a smoke show.
You're.
Off The
Did you guys
Bachelor.
watch The Bachelor?
That's
Oh
the
my
worst.
gosh, have you ever actually called me a smoke show? Okay, Tommy's crying. We have to go.
Oh,
but
dang.
anyways, we are stoked that we could finally share this in detail, and we hope you guys learned something about us. If you guys have other YouTube ideas, let us know in the comments. I gotta go back there and see Tommy. But
Thanks for watching.
see you next time.